You're applying your hyaluronic acid serum to damp skin just like the instructions say. 3 drops patted gently onto your face and neck. You bought this serum because every influencer swears by it. The molecule that holds 1,000 times its weight in water. But 20 minutes later, your skin feels tight, almost drier than before you applied it. So you layer more products on top thinking you need to seal it in, and you convince yourself it's working even though your skin feels parched. What if I told you that hyaluronic acid is pulling moisture from your skin instead of adding it? And the apply to damp skin instruction actually makes the dehydration worse. Because here's what nobody told you about this miracle molecule. In most indoor environments, hyaluronic acid behaves exactly opposite to how it's marketed. In 2019, researchers at MIT studied hyaluronic acid behavior in different humidity levels. They measured moisture movement in skin tissue after topical application across various environmental conditions. In humidity above 70%, hyaluronic acid pulled moisture from the air to the skin exactly as advertised. But in humidity below 60%, the molecule reversed direction. Below 60% humidity, hyaluronic acid couldn't find enough water in the air, so it pulled moisture from the deeper layers of your skin, UP, to the surface where it evaporated into the dry air. You're literally dehydrating your dermis to temporarily plump your epidermis. And here's the part that will make you furious. Most indoor environments are below 60% humidity, especially in winter with heating or in summer with air conditioning. Average indoor humidity in heated homes ranges from 25 to 45%. In air-conditioned spaces, it drops to 30 to 50%. You're almost never in the 70% humidity zone where hyaluronic acid actually works as advertised. This means that most of the time you apply hyaluronic acid, you're creating internal dehydration. Your dermis loses water. Your surface looks temporarily plump. Then within hours, the water evaporates and you're left drier than when you started. But it gets worse because the apply to damp skin instruction accelerates this problem. When you apply hyaluronic acid to damp skin, you're giving it surface water to grab. This feels hydrating initially because the molecule swells with that water, creating temporary plumpness. But that surface water evaporates quickly in low humidity. As it evaporates, the hyaluronic acid needs more water to maintain its structure. Since there's not enough in the air, it pulls from your dermis, creating a moisture gradient that flows upward and out. Damp skin application is designed to create the dehydration cycle. Now let me show you what this does to your skin barrier over time. Your dermis contains about 70% water. This water is bound in collagen and elastin networks, and it's essential for structural integrity. When hyaluronic acid repeatedly pulls this water upward, you create chronic dermal dehydration. Chronic dermal dehydration causes collagen networks to contract and lose flexibility. Elastin fibers become brittle. Your skin's structural foundation weakens from the inside, even while the surface looks temporarily hydrated. Studies measuring skin elasticity after 6 months of daily hyaluronic acid use in low humidity environments showed a 17% decrease in dermal elasticity. The internal dehydration had damaged the structural proteins. Your plumping serum is aging you from the inside out. And here's how the industry maintains this scam while you blame yourself. Hyaluronic acid serums are marketed with images of dewy, hydrated skin. The marketing photos are taken immediately after application when the molecule is still swollen with surface water. But they don't show you what happens 2 hours later when the water has evaporated and your skin is tighter than before. They don't mention that the product only works in high humidity, which most people don't have. When your skin feels dry after using hyaluronic acid, you assume you need more hydration. So you buy more products, layering them endlessly, trying to fix a problem the hyaluronic acid created. Research from University of California compared hyaluronic acid application in controlled humidity. At 75% humidity, skin hydration increased by 24%. At 40% humidity, skin hydration decreased by 15% after 4 hours. The same product in different humidity created completely opposite results. But the industry sells it as universally hydrating without mentioning environmental requirements. It's not a miracle molecule. It's a humidity-dependent molecule. Now here's where it gets interesting because there's a version of this molecule that actually works. Your skin naturally produces hyaluronic acid in the dermis and epidermis. This endogenous hyaluronic acid is synthesized by your skin cells and bound within the tissue structure, where it can't create moisture gradients. When your skin makes its own hyaluronic acid, the molecule stays in the dermal matrix holding water in place. It doesn't pull moisture from deep layers to the surface. It maintains internal hydration regardless of external humidity. Studies show that boosting your skin's natural hyaluronic acid production through vitamin C niacinamide and adequate hydration from within is far more effective than topical application. The internally produced molecule stays where it's needed. But here's the paradox about molecular weight that changes everything. Hyaluronic acid comes in different molecular weights. High molecular weight HA sits on the skin surface and creates the moisture-pulling problem in low humidity. Low molecular weight HA can penetrate into the dermis. Low molecular weight hyaluronic acid in the dermis behaves more like your natural HA. It binds water within the tissue instead of pulling it upward. But most serums use high molecular weight because it creates immediate visible plumping that sells products. You don't need surface hyaluronic acid that dehydrates your dermis. So what's the actual solution? If you live in consistently high humidity, above 70% topical hyaluronic acid can work. But if you're in typical indoor environments, you're creating internal dehydration most of the time. Better options. Use products with low molecular weight hyaluronic acid that penetrate deeper. Or skip topical HA entirely and focus on boosting your skin's natural production with niacinamide, vitamin C, and ceramides. If you insist on using topical hyaluronic acid, apply it in a humid bathroom immediately after showering and seal it with an occlusive before leaving the bathroom. This prevents the moisture from evaporating and pulling from your dermis. Work with humidity, not against it. Critical warning. If you have very dry skin and use hyaluronic acid in low humidity without occlusion, you're making your dryness worse, not better. Remember that woman applying her hyaluronic acid serum to damp skin, thinking she was deeply hydrating. She just learned that in her 40% humidity apartment, she was dehydrating her dermis with every application. She doesn't need surface hyaluronic acid in low humidity. She needs to boost her internal production. And now you know exactly what she knows. That tight feeling after hyaluronic acid isn't your skin drinking it in. It's your dermis being drained. If this video just explained why your hydrating serum makes you drier, subscribe. Next week, we're exposing retinol and why daily use is thinning your skin barrier permanently. Next video. The ingredient dermatologists use once weekly, but tell you to use daily. Why your skin is getting thinner, not better. See you there.